Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. I have a little bit of downtime this morning before Adeline comes, and I want to make some peanut brittle that actually works. I tried the recipe, I showed you a quick reel, but I want to cook it with you real time because we've about eaten all of it already, and it is a favorite at my house. So come on in, grab a cup of coffee, get a seat, pull up to the kitchen. Look at that crazy glare on my hands with the stove light, but we're gonna try it because I want you to be able to see what's going on in the pot. How are you? Good morning. Good morning to you. So give me just a second here. I can't figure out how to do things when before I go live that I can do once I'm here on live. And I want to flip the camera because I want to show you the recipe. There we go. And then it makes everything backwards. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? Is it raining at your house? It is actually sunny here, and it's going to be almost 60. Hi, Diane. Merry Christmas to you too, sweetie. So I'll show you the rest. Sorry. Let's take care of this, or try to take care of it before we get too started here. Here is the simple recipe that I'm going to follow. Now, this is straight from my sweet friend Velma. I told you about her last time. She shared her recipe, and we're going straight peanut brittle today, but this is the best I've ever had. So here is, let me get it in there. Here is the recipe. You can screenshot it. We're going to work through it step by step, and then we'll go on from there. It's pouring in Northern California. It's awful. Oh my gosh. So both coasts are currently getting it, right? Because I know I was talking to Michelle in New Hampshire yesterday and they were flooding there. Well, I'm right in the middle of the country right here in Missouri, and it's going to be almost 60 today and the sun's already out. So I'm really sorry for you, but man, is it beautiful here. It is beautiful here. Hey guys, come in. Let's make some peanut brittle. Have you made a bunch of treats for your family yet? I have not. I go back and forth, and the mood has to strike. The mood has to strike. So this is the batch of brittle using this recipe that I made the other day. Snowing in Buffalo. Oh my gosh. And this is how it looks. Let me get you a nice picture here. Now, I do deviate. I know we are going to enjoy the weather because when it's nice like this in Missouri, we soak it up. Soak it up. This is what it looks like. Now, I'm going to tell you that the only deviation I make to the recipe at all is I add extra peanuts. That's because it's how I like it. My husband would prefer it with no nuts at all. He would love just to have the brittle. And sometimes I do that for him. I just make him a batch with no nuts, and we just have the honeycomb, I think they call it that way. But this is what we're after. There's a pretty good shot. I'm using my stove light, you guys, so we'll be moving around in the light just a little bit. But it gives you a beautiful finish. And I will tell you that my friend Velma, she, as opposed to putting her butter in her brittle, she butters her baking sheet heavily, and that's how she does the butter. Totally up to you. I'm just so used to parchment paper. I'm going to do the parchment and put some butter in. So let's get started. I've got my pot going. I did move to a smaller circle burner on my stove so that my high flame will stay underneath my pot. That's been something we've been working on. And we're just going to add 3 ingredients into our pan. We need 3 cups of white sugar. Half cup measuring cup because that's what I found. You have been making it? Oh my gosh, I want to see it. You need to send me a picture. Capri, I want to know. So I need 6 of these. So you guys know I got to count and not talk, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 cups of white sugar going into my pot. And then I need 1 cup of corn syrup. Okay, light corn syrup is what the recipe calls for. This one's about empty, so I have a secondary bottle here if we need it. So we'll go 1/2 cup. Eventually, when it all comes out of the bottle, we'll go 1/2 cup. It's making really cool big bubbles. Okay, I'm gonna snap the lid on and turn it upside down and let it drain down. We'll get the rest. And then I'll open this up. Hey, Carol, how are you? Let me turn you guys a little bit while I'm over there working. There we go. Now you can't see me as much, but you can see what we're doing a little bit better. So I've got 3 cups of white sugar, and we're going to go 1 cup of corn syrup and then half a cup of water. Okay, that's it. That's the basics to a brittle, all about anything you make like that. Okay, so there's 1/2 cup. And I'm going to use my finger to scrape it out because nothing works like your finger with sticky corn syrup. Of course, then you have sticky corn syrup on your finger. So I don't know about that, y'all. Okay, I want to tell you, so I need another 1/2 cup. So here we go. And you never get it completely all out. So I always heap up that second cupful just a little bit because, you know, this is thick, sticky stuff. You can't get it all out of that cup. Okay, and now I'm going to get 1/2 cup of water. Moonwalk back over to the stove and put it in there. Oh, I got to see what you wrote. Something turned out nicely. I want to know. I want to know. Oh my gosh. You have used honey roasted peanuts, salted peanuts, and salted cashew. They've all turned out. Yes, please take me a picture. Hi, Stacy. How are you? Okay. We are making peanut brittle that I finally found success with. So hang in there. Come on in. I'm going to set you right on top of my stove. Did that make you too dizzy? Sorry about that if it did. And if I turn on the wrong burner, we got a disaster. Okay, so the recipe for this one deviates from some we've tried. And it says to stir your stuff here, of course, until you get it kind of dissolved. Now that light's really glary. I may have to adjust how we do the lighting. So we just stir it to get it all combined, get all that dry sugar incorporated. Scrape down your sides of your pot. Remember, you need a heavy bottomed pot, okay? A real thin aluminum pot will not serve you as well for this because we're going to get to a really high temperature. So you need a pot. You need a heavy bottom pot. That's what you need. That's all you need. Okay. And then on a pretty good heat, I'm going to put mine on up to the 6, which on my stove is just shy of high. And we're going to let that start coming up a little bit in temperature. Let me see if I can check the lighting here while we get started here. You would think it would be easier to check your own video lighting. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, pretty bright. All right, let's see what we can do. If I tilt you away just a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to play a little bit. That's too dark. All right, I think we'd rather have a glare than too dark. So let's just work with that idea. I think you'll be able to see well enough that it'll be worth it. So we get it all combined, and then we go on and stir it together, and we're looking to get that sugar to melt. And once the sugar melts and we get it to come up to a simmer, we're going to turn it down this time. Last time, the old recipe said to keep it on high and keep it cranked up. But this recipe says that once you get it to bubble, once you get a boil going, to turn it down to just a low boil, a nice little simmer, okay? And then from there, you can put the thermometer in and let it start doing its thing. So I can already feel that things have loosened up in here. Nothing is stuck to the bottom. Okay, what's on your schedule today? Are you guys feeling ready for the holidays? Or are you feeling like you have a longer list than you can get done? Tell me what is going on in your day here. I'm kind of in between. I feel like I should have a list, but I don't really have a list, and I'm just kind of floating through at this point. We have 2 big holiday get-togethers in our family. We have what we call sibling Christmas. We have 6 kids, you know that. We have 2 in-law kids, and this year we have a grandbaby. And so a few years ago, once the kids started getting older, some of them did, we started a sibling day. They draw names at Thanksgiving. Pretty simple. I love that. They draw names among the siblings at Thanksgiving, and then we get together for our family Christmas whenever it works out for everybody to get together. And they exchange those gifts, and we gift the adult kids that don't live in the house anymore. And they, so that is the 23rd this year. So on Saturday, they'll all be here. That's a pretty casual day. I don't cook a traditional Christmas dinner. Longer list. Stacy. I don't do a big traditional Christmas dinner. We have always just had snack food. So we have meat and cheese trays, we have veggies, we have fruits, we have sweets, and that's what that day is. Because I just didn't want to spend that day in the kitchen. I just didn't want to. I wanted to be able to spend that day with everybody. So we don't do anything big. And then we started a tradition several years ago. My adopted kids are from Ethiopia, and we always have a great big Ethiopian feast. Yes, it's so much more important to be with them at that time. And so we have a big Ethiopian home-cooked feast once a year. And that is, you have shingles. Oh, Stacy, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, girl, that is miserable. I'm so sorry. I wish I had a really good solution to give you, and I just don't. So that is my huge cooking day. It's actually 2 days of cooking. Okay, we're just starting to get a little bubble here around the edge, and we can see that coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and take my thermometer and clip it onto my pot. Remember, your thermometer needs to be in your candy, but not touching the bottom of your pot. That'll throw off your temperature reading. So mine is sitting in there, and now it's just time. I'm going to let it go ahead and get a good bubble because it's just starting to simmer now. And then I'm going to turn it down to about a 4 on my stove, which is just going to keep it at a slow roll, which is what we're after. So we started picking up, of course, food was going to be part of our family traditions, right? So cooking Ethiopian food was something I started trying to learn as soon as my kids were here. And we picked up, 1 or 2 dishes at a time. And now, man, you could go back and hunt, but it would be a hunt. Last year I did some videos showing the feast. We're up to about 12 or 14 different dishes that we do. Hey, Tammy, welcome. And that's, wow, that's the day. We will start on the day before. We're making peanut brittle that I actually know that is going to work. I gave up on the bacon pecan brittle. Something in that combo just will not brittle for me. But this peanut brittle, and you could do any kind of nuts you want in it, is fantastic. So we're doing what I know works. And I've got the recipe for you guys. I'll show it again at the end and you can screenshot. My friend Velma said I could share it. Bless her heart. Thank you, Miss Velma. So that is our huge day. We actually have to start the day before. It's a 2-day cooking feast. And it is so much fun. The older kids have embraced it along with the younger kids. And we start with about 25 pounds of onions. The base to all Ethiopian cuisine is a good onion. And we have to cook them down like a long time, a long time. And so we actually start the day before getting the onions ready. Hey, Missy. So everybody gathers to cry and chop onions the day before the feast. So we're eating the 28th. On the 27th, we'll start cutting up onions and get that part done. And once you have that onion base, the rest of the dishes come together quicker-ish. So that is always something we look forward to. Okay, we're up to temperature. I'm going to knock the heat back a little bit. I'm going to give just a little stir. Okay. And then we're just going to see. So the temperature is right where we would expect, about 225 for the boil to start. And we're going to let that go. So Ethiopian cuisine, if you've never had it and you live anywhere near a metropolitan area where there would be an Ethiopian restaurant near you, I encourage you to try it. Other than church, what do you do on the 25th? We actually will go do all of our church activities this year on the 24th because all of our churches, tilt you back just a little bit, that glare bugs me. Sunday is Christmas Eve this year. I don't think that helped any. Why was it not glaring before and it is now? And it's a pain to shift there we go, let's try that. So on the 24th, we'll go to morning church, first church at our personal church. And then we're going to go out to dinner with my daughter and her husband and Adeline. And then we will go to Christmas Eve services with them about 4 in the afternoon at their church. So that's our plan. Actual Christmas Day is really peaceful here at this stage of life. We have the morning with the kids that are here at home. We'll have 3 kids at home Christmas morning. They'll actually do their gifts Christmas morning. And then it's just a total casual day after that. I don't know how I feel about that. Part of you wants it to all be woohoo, wild and crazy, but that is, it's just how it works for us. I am not particular about the dates on the calendar for my holidays. Once the kids got married and had other families to consider, we are just moving Thanksgiving to Saturday because if they can all be here, hey Mindy, that's what I want, and I don't care what day it is. So we'll do Thanksgiving on Saturday. We'll do Christmas on the 23rd and the 28th, and that's okay. If that's when everybody can be here, that's what's important to me, not so much the particular date. So, all right. It's coming right up. You can see that we have a nice boil, but it's not going crazy. Good morning, Miss Veronica. And you can already see the color is beginning to come up, right? Good morning, Kathy. How are you? We are making peanut brittle this morning, a recipe that I finally had success with. Tammy, I know. It matters to some families, and that's okay. I totally support whatever, but it's okay with me, so we'll do it whenever we can get together. When you get a family as large as mine, it gets really hard to get everybody in the same place. Yep. It's so hard to find a date, you just take it. Thank you, Mindy. Thank you so much. And you're happy with it, right? I'm just thrilled that we're still in a position where we can get all 6 of our children together on one day every once in a while. You need one? This is Love and Faith. Love and Faith is let me get it right for you because I mess things up. No, I can't find it now. Love and Faith. I find them online. They have a great line of t-shirts. Oh, they have so many different ones. And they're always running a sale. So if you find them, you can get all kinds. You all go to your grandma's on the Saturday before all holidays. I love that. I love that. All right, it's coming on up. We're up to about 2:30. It takes a little bit more time this way. I don't know if the slower cooking makes a difference, but it worked last time, and I'm going to stick with it because it worked. So when this comes up to about 280, we're going to add the peanuts, and I am using the adult kids, they have to pick. It has to kind of work. And I have one son still in college, and his schedule gets a little hard sometimes too. So, yeah. So I am using Spanish peanuts today. These are raw Spanish peanuts. The last time I made it and what's in there are just dry roasted peanuts. I am not an affiliate. I wish I was. I filled out the paperwork and I couldn't figure it out any further. But whenever you see me in a Christian themed t-shirt, that's where it came from. Love and Faith. Yeah. And they're great. They'll get them right out to you. They're a big enough company that they can do that. So I'm just going to, I was going to show you the bag from my peanuts, but I can't find it. I probably threw it away. Let's see. Oh, hang on, remember you forgot to say you sprinkle a little sea salt. Oh yes, I love a little extra salt is always good to me. That's a great idea. Do you think they're cut small? Hey Lana, I I have not found that. Now I have found that I prefer their V-neck style to their crew neck style. This is a soft t-shirt, but they're ones that are not necessarily the soft t-shirt. The necks are too tight. You know, some of those t-shirts are cut for people with thinner necks than me, let's just say. But I really love their V-neck style, and most of their patterns you can pick whichever one you prefer. So if you click on it, you can usually get a long sleeve, a short sleeve, a V-neck, a crew neck. You do Christmas the Saturday after Christmas. Yeah, we're going to start doing our family Thanksgiving the Saturday after Thanksgiving because that's what works. And I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. So these are raw Spanish peanuts. This is what the original recipe calls for. I did just use dry roasted peanuts last time because that's what I had. Some of them got a little extra brown because they're so cooked when they went into my syrup, but they don't taste bad. They just look a little brown. So the raw peanuts can handle the cooking a little longer. I don't mind the skins. If you do, there are 1,000 methods for removing most of the skins off of a Spanish peanut. So if you prefer them skinned, but any cook, any level of nut will work. I don't know what to say. Roasted and salted, raw, however you get them. I don't think boiled would work. I'm not a Southern girl. I don't know about boiled nuts, but I think they're like a bean and I don't think they would work. See you later. Have a great day. Have a great day, Capri. I hope it's a great day. You always had your Christmas the week before. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, when our kids were little, we wanted our Christmas at home. We wanted them to get up in their house and open their gifts, you know, on Christmas morning and then be at home. You love boiled peanuts? You got to be from a certain part of the country to be familiar with boiled peanuts. And I never made friends with them. I should. I don't know. I like everything else. I like too many things. That's a part of the issue, right? So I am going to put about 3 cups of peanuts into mine. They all live in the South. Yeah. Because I like more nuts. This is an adjustable thing. I actually put 3.5 cups or so in there. I would really love it if my brittle was just enough to hold the nuts together. That's really how I would prefer it, is almost all nuts and just a little bit of brittle to work as glue. But we're going to go with about 3 cups in here. But the recipe calls for 2 cups or 13 ounces, just shy of 2 cups. And she said that she interchanges all kinds of nuts in here. But like I said, let's cook the basics and let you guys take it beyond there. All right, I'm keeping an eye on. We're at 250, headed to 280. So we're getting there. And we don't have to do anything. I mean, I could clean the kitchen, but who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? See, my husband likes just the brittle. We call that honeycomb around here, and it is a real candy, but that's all it is you just cook your brittle up to the 3 to 310 stage and pour it out, and it turns into the no nut brittle. And usually I would make him some every year. I just haven't done it. I guess especially with those dry roasted peanuts, because they're already so cooked, you could probably pour him out some with no nuts at all at the 300-degree stage and then stir some of those cooked nuts in it really quick and make the other part of the batch. I don't know. This batch calls for 2 cookie sheets too. The initial one that we made just said to prepare 1 sheet pan, but Velma does 2. Okay, so we're going to go 2. And the other one I did, I spread out or poured out on 2. And that worked up pretty well. Your kitchen is a mess. Judy, I had to clean the kitchen yesterday. Everything was stacked up in here. And now, I'll show you. You see this? No, you can't see all of it right there. And I am getting ready for the snacky stuff for the weekend. So I just packed all this food in here, all kinds of pickles and olives. I got to make my family's famous olive dip. It was my dad's recipe, and we have to have it on the holidays. And the chicks and all that kind of thing. Yeah, So I cleaned off the counters and then went to the grocery store and filled them back up. That's what I did. But I got cheese, and we have ham and brisket, and that'll just be for sandwiches and little rolls, and then veggies and fruit and sweets, of course. And then like a, veggie, not veggie tray. What do you call it when it has the olives and the pickles? I can't say it today, but that stuff. That's what we'll have, and it'll just be out pretty much all day long. Yeah, that's what I know. And I worked about an hour yesterday putting lids on things and putting them away. It's just a constant process of put things away and drag things out. Put things away and drag things out. Okay. That's looking good. You can see that we're beginning to get some color in there. My kitchen, I laugh a lot. This is a tiny house. I told you guys that all the time. The downstairs portion where I live, there is an upstairs, but I don't climb stairs hardly ever. So my portion down here is just 700 square feet, 4 rooms. We have the world's smallest bathroom. I would put that up as a arguable fact that I don't know that you could find, hey Tiandra, a bathroom that functions any smaller than ours. The square shower is the extent of the width of our bathroom. I have a leg that doesn't bend and it won't straighten out in there. It's how little it is. And so we have that. We have a kitchen, dining, living, and our bedroom is down here, 700 square feet. And I designed and drew up, because this was an empty space, right? When we started, it was just, if you guys are interested in some of that, I'll pull up the old videos someday and show you where we started. So I designed this space, and kitchen space was important to me. So I tried to squeeze every inch I could. The house that we moved from when we moved here was 4,800 square feet. The kids sleep upstairs, Tammy. Yeah, they don't stay up there, of course. They sleep up there. We should compare, I'm telling you. I think I could win. I've never seen a bathroom this small, and it's my bathroom. It's the only one I use. My old house was this huge house in town. It was a huge downsized Kimberly. We literally sold and gave away about 95% of our belongings. I brought 3 pieces of furniture. Here's all I brought. I mean, this was an abandoned garage. When we got here, we didn't have any place to put furniture. And the only thing I kept was my grandmother's bedroom furniture that I use today. And 90% of my stuff also went. Okay, we need about 5 more degrees and we're going to put the nuts in. So my old house, that gigantic house, actually had the smallest kitchen I've ever had. And it was a galley style, and I have a U shape here too. And you could touch counter to counter. I am 5 foot tall. And in my other kitchen, if I put my hand on the counter on one side, I could easily touch the counter on the other. And everything in it was, I called it a Barbie kitchen. Everything had been custom built smaller, so it looked bigger. It was very functional, had double ovens and a nice cooktop. Oh, I filled the old place up. So imagine what I can do here. And even the microwave it was an RV size microwave. You didn't really notice when you went in there. I went to put cabinet pulls on the cabinets in the kitchen just to brighten it up. It was an all white stone, the kitchen. And the knobs wouldn't fit because the holes in the doors were so close. Things you don't notice. So I had the smallest kitchen I ever had in the biggest house I ever had. All that to say that. I've had really wonderful kitchens in smaller houses. But, okay. Now, we're up to 280 degrees. So I'm going to grab a measuring cup again. I should grab a bigger measuring cup. This is just 1/3 of a cup. So there's 1, 2, 3, there's 1 cup, and 1. I'm making these heaping, my hands are full. So that's how we're going to add the extra, okay? And we're going to stir those peanuts just down into our syrup. I want to make sure it doesn't cake up on my thermometer. So I'm going to pull it up a minute, get all of these down in there. Make sure they're all coated. And then I'm going to get that back on there without burning my fingers. Maybe I'm not. There you go. pull that back up to be sure it's not in the bottom. And now we're just going to watch it until it gets to the hard crack stage, which is between 300 and 310 degrees. Okay, I'm going to give it a little more heat to get it back up to a good bubble. And now we're just waiting. Then we're just waiting. And I'm going to go ahead, while we wait, I'm going to get my baking soda, just cheap old Walmart baking soda, and butter. Now, Miss Velma's recipe, I think I said, does not add butter to the brittle. She butters her cookie sheets, okay? Our family eats it all, Tammy, but we have given away, I made a ton of stuff in I did a little workshop, you guys. It's still available. If you're interested, shoot me a message where we did baking and treats. So I baked bread, and I baked regular bread, we baked sweetbreads, and then we did treats, holiday treats, easy holiday treats. So I have already gifted my gifty folks with all of that stuff because I had so much by the time we did the workshop. It was a blast, though. It's a blast. I have a plan for my next workshop. It will be a private group class, but I think we're going to do journal making, and we're starting at the very easiest, because I think sometimes it's intimidating to people that don't do it all the time. And so that's what I'm thinking. I'm not 100% there, but that's where I'm leaning. I would like to try to do some workshops throughout the year. Sometimes when we're in a small private group, and if we spend a couple of hours, it's not too much. And we can really dig in and do some things in more detail. So if you'd be interested in that, it was 3 sessions. We did my artisan no-knead bread first in great detail. I call it my daily bread because you could make it every day. It's very simple. It always is successful. And then the second session, we did sweetbreads. Like I taught you my mother-in-law's famous banana bread recipe. It's very special, very unique. And we did a fresh apple bread that I sold thousands of loaves of at our local town. And so we did those 2, and we talked about simple stir-together sweetbreads. And then the third session, we did 5 or 6 quick and easy, inexpensive, fast gift treats that you can make. And then I came back and did a little bonus session on cakes and mini cakes and cupcakes and simple cake decorating. So that exists. It's a private group. It's $25, and you get all those sessions. You can message me, and we'll figure it out. I gotta get better at figuring out how to do that, but that's how I did that one. Okay, I'm still waiting to see a good color, and we're just about, took us a while because all those nuts cooled down our syrup a little bit, so we're still at about the 250 stage, so it takes just a minute. I'm gonna hit our heat up a little bit and really get that going. I think the higher heat might increase the color just a bit. Heck, I don't know. So after the first of the year, my next workshop, I think we'll do journal basics. Just, we're going to start with the basics, and you guys know how to take it wherever you want to go. But I don't want you to be afraid of journal making or book making. And I think sometimes it's intimidating, especially because there are a big group of us creators on here that are doing it all the time. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, tell me what you think. I'm up to ideas. If there's anything you can think of that you would want to learn more in depth, you tell me. You tell me, and I'm up for it. Okay? Oh, now we're going. Can you tell the difference? We got a big high bubble going here. I got my butter ready. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter into my brittle, but I'm going to slice it so that it melts faster. Of all the crazy things I find when cooking, which I really do think is weird, is that the butter will be the last thing to happen in a recipe. Have you ever noticed that? Like, I'll put a chunk of butter in something, and I mean, it'll melt on my countertop, but it won't melt in my pot. So go ahead, if you're going to do your butter in your brittle, slice up your 2 tablespoons of butter so it's in smaller pieces. It'll just make it melt faster. Okay? Now, once we get to this phase, we have to be ready to roll, because once we remove it from the heat and we stir in that baking soda, it's fast. You got to get it stirred in and dumped out. So everything is set. You can see there's a fancy term for this, mise en place, I don't know, something like that, that says you're all set and ready. So my pans are here. I have 2. They're stacked up. My pot is right here. My handle is where I need it. My little red line is hard to see. All right, we've got a little ways to go, but it's worth it. The patience is worth it. So we're just going to let it bubble. You can see it's already raising in my pot. This pot just barely holds this batch of brittle. So this is a little bigger batch than the pecan bacon we tried with. And there we go. Yeah. Yes, isn't it true, Martha? You get started and the journals grow and grow and grow and grow. Yeah. Yeah. I did give out the recipe, but it's no secret. It's a gift from my friend Velma, and here it is. We put 3 cups of sugar, a cup of corn syrup, and a half a cup of water. We brought it to a boil, stirring it, then turned it down to simmer and didn't do anything while we watched it come up to 280. It did not come out grace at all. I gave up. And once it got to 280, we stirred in 3 cups of nuts because I like it nutty, and now we're cooking it to 300 degrees. That's where we are. Then we're going to turn off the heat, put in 2 teaspoons of baking soda and a couple of tablespoons of butter and pour it out. All right? Now you have to kind of keep an eye on it. Once it starts really coming to temp, it seems to raise pretty quick in my opinion. So I finally threw out the last batch of the brittle. Remember, it was real pale and it did not honeycomb. It didn't make it wasn't crispy at all, even though I drained I don't know. So something about the oil in the pecans and whatever little bit of oil was left in that bacon, I have no idea. But nope. You could eat it and it tasted good, but you were eating it all day, you know what I mean? Because it would stick your teeth together and all you could do was wait for it to kind of melt in your mouth. So I want you to have a good, easy, brittle recipe that you can succeed with. So this is that recipe. This is it. We're about 270. 270. I got to keep an eye on it, though. I get to chatting and I forget. Although it's a nice way to spend the morning. We're not hurried or anything, right? I'm going to, before my corn syrup makes any more of a mess on my cabinet top, I'm going to transfer what's left in this bottle. To my next one. So I'm thinking I'm going to make, I don't know what I'm going to make with the my Chex over there. I might make some Money Buddies if we're feeling sweet. We've got some Chex Mix. Oh, we're almost there. Okay, I'm going to watch because I don't want to miss it. Which, I don't know. Salted pistachios. You know, I've never seen a pistachio brittle. I'd be very curious to know. I would be very curious to know. Okay, so between 300 and 310, we've just reached 300. You notice the color deepened. Did you notice that? That right around the 290 to the 300 degrees, the color deepened. And we're looking for that. We're looking for that. If you want to make peanut brittle, there are a few little things you need to do. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. I'll pull my thermometer. Sticky, gooey, nasty mess. I'm going in with my 2 tablespoons of butter in 4 pieces, thereabouts. And now we need 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and this is going to foam up. Don't be alarmed. There goes 1. There goes 2. And now we got to stir. And look, that's what we want to see. You want to see that white foam. That's the baking soda doing its thing. Okay? We make sure that butter is melted and we don't see any more butter floating around, and we just pour about half of it, a little more, and we're going to move a pan and pour out the other half. Velma does not spread hers. My friend Velma that makes this delicious brittle, this is her recipe shared with us. She doesn't spread hers. The other recipe said to spread it out with your spoon. Yuck, don't drip it all in your stove, although it'll smell good. Said to like spread it out as thin as you can, but she doesn't. She just lets it settle. Okay, she just lets it settle in the baking sheet. Okay, I'm burning some caramel on there. Miss Capri said she likes to add some salt. If you want to top it with something, now would be the time. Okay, I'm just using a little bit. Here's my first pan. Still bubbling, by the way. Hang on, let me get this and then I will come back and read some comments because right now it needs a little attention. Okay? And that's it. It needs to sit about 30 minutes at least to cool. Okay? So I'm setting it on top of my pots that sit here on my stove. All right. I'm going to turn off that bright light and I'm going to talk to you. Martha, I am no expert at candy making. So I do know that there are some telltale signs about how to know your temperature without a thermometer. This is the hard crack stage, and it's an eyeball thing as to the color, okay? So you could watch for this deep amber color to develop. You see how brown that is now? There's also ways that you can test it with how stringy it is, but I am no expert. I would not be able to do this without a thermometer. I'm not that good. I'm not. I know some people are, and you can test it in different ways. You can drop a little bit of it in water and see how it reacts. But this is the deal, guys. If you follow this simple recipe, and I'm going to show you again and we'll talk through it. Here it is. If you want to get a screenshot, you need a pot with a heavy bottom. This is not a great big pot. I'd call it a medium saucepan, but it does have a very thick bottom. It can be no stick. It doesn't have to be no stick. That doesn't matter. The material doesn't matter. The weight matters. And in that, you're going to do 3 cups of sugar, 1 cup of corn syrup, a half a cup of water. You're going to stir that together really good, and you're going to stir it occasionally until it all melts and it begins to boil. Once it begins to boil, hey, Miss Judy, you are going to put a candy thermometer in it and turn it down to a low boil, okay? And you're just going to let it come up to temperature, no stirring or anything, till it reaches 280 degrees or soft crack on your thermometer. I would have no idea how to tell you how to do that without a thermometer. Then you add 2 cups of nuts. I used a raw Spanish peanut, and I did 3 cups because I like the nuts. You can do any kind of nuts. Be mindful, they're going to cook in there for quite a while. You saw how long it took it to come up to temp. So if you have a roasted nut, you may need to wait a little bit. You've used the string and softball stage. You go, Martha. I'm proud of you, girl. I don't trust myself at all. Okay, so add your nuts and then bring it up to 300, which is the hard crack stage. When it gets there, turn off your heat. Add 2 teaspoons of baking soda and butter if you want to. I use 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir, 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 stir really quick, and then pour it out on 2 lined cookie sheets and let it cool. If you don't want to put the butter in your brittle, butter down your cookie sheet really well, and it will pick it up from there. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to get off here and get a few things done. I think that Michelle is probably on right now over at the Vintage Daisy, and so I'm going to go catch the rest of her video. I'll post a picture, but can you see? I think you can see the bubbles. Do you see the bubbles? That's what you're looking for. Even after it's on the pan, you want to see bubbles. That means you're going to get the good crack. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Have a great day.